A group of peacocks has decided to move in. They're rare for the area, and though they are pretty, they're also pretty loud. Jay Gray joins us now live from Newtown with the very latest. Momentum is building to get something done, and lawmakers from both sides of the aisle say they're more optimistic than they've been in years. If you couldn't tell by the traffic, this is the last shopping weekend before Christmas. If you received an email saying you're part of a class action lawsuit against Facebook, it's not spam. The National Hockey League just resumed play after months of negotiations, but our local hockey team, the Billings Bulls, have been playing strong this season. U.S. House candidate Kim Gillen just spoke moments ago here at the Democratic gathering. Plus down the road a little bit. Right. But right now, I'm just happy that we're going to get some snow on Christmas.
I know, you've been looking forward
so excited. Lions, tigers, and bears, oh my. Well, there aren't actually any lions and tigers and just one bear at the Great Rockies Sports Show this weekend. Everybody else has just one more day to get their tinsel and bows. In this week's Outdoor Report, Mike Gurnett introduces us to an outdoorsman whose words are heard worldwide. Before you put your bills or letters in the mail tomorrow, a reminder that the price of a first-class stamp went up to 46 cents today. Forever stamps bought at lower prices are, of course, still valid.
LauraKennedyTV's Laura Kennedy was in Cody this morning for a news conference. She joins us now live with the details. Laura?
Thank you very much, Greg. As you just heard, the suspect is being held in Montana. However, this morning in Cody, Police Chief Perry Rockvam praised the cooperation between agencies for getting the suspect into custody.
And then once confirmed with the family that the victim was unaccounted for, we then issued an Amber Alert.
On Monday, Cody police released new information about the capture of the suspect from last week's kidnapping, a crime that began at the library in Cody. According to court documents, the victim in the case remembers being on this rock bridge in front of the Park County Complex building when the suspect approached her and her two friends, asking for help finding his lost dog. Court documents say the suspect then forced the victim into his truck by showing her a handgun. He then tied her up in the back seat and drove her through town, stopping at this liquor store. The girl remembers being driven through town and then into the woods via South Fork Road. After being assaulted in the vehicle, she was abandoned in a remote area of the park, but she soon made her way to a road where two hunters found her and called authorities.
And it was at this time that we then rendezvoused with the hunters, and she was then transported to the hospital.
After interviewing the victim, authorities began a multi-state search for the assailant, including getting businesses to supply their surveillance video in order to identify the suspect's vehicle.
As we went through the video, we started noticing a similar vehicle, the same vehicle, in the times and locations that the victim had described to us where they were after he had abducted her.
A license plate photo taken at the entrance to Yellowstone National Park is ultimately what led them to Jesse Spear in Bozeman. And once again, Jesse Spear appeared in Gallatin County Court this morning and will not fight extradition to Wyoming. More charges are expected to be filed in this case. Laura Kennedy, Color 8 News.
Tonight, Color 8's Laura Kennedy introduces us to a man from Lolo, Montana, who most look forward to seeing the Korean War Memorial.
Navy vet Warren Dexter arrived in D.C. Sunday morning, thrilled to be on the honor flight. He's been trying to get on a flight for 5 years.
I've got 5 kids and they all encourage me. Keep at it.
And even 3 days before this flight, he still wasn't on the list. And then the phone rang.
She gave me the phone and asked me if I would go. And I couldn't believe it.
His son, Russell, dropped everything to go along as his escort.
You know, it's been incredible. I had an uncle that we were trying to encourage to go with him, and he's since passed. He didn't make it.
A World War II vet, Warren also served in the Korean War, so the father and son made an emotional visit to that memorial.
Take a deep breath, you're okay.
The crowd gathered steadily, witnessing the rush of painful memories taking him back to 1950.
So many didn't come back.
The faces on the wall, those of his friends who he served with all those years ago.
Our flights were up on the west coast of Korea, so I went with him there. But I got a first eye view of it, so many of them in the winter up there with out proper clothes and their ammunition was short. All this time my wife was home
His wife, Norma, the love of his life, who he married just weeks before being deployed to Korea.
I had that in my wallet when I climbed up the gangplank onto that ship, and I've had it in my wallet for 62 years.
For his son, the honor flight trip is a chance to see the impact of his father's generation.
The amount of gratitude you feel from the people along the way, whether they are part of the honor flight or not.
Thank you very much.
It's something I've wanted all the rest of my life.
A visit to the nation's capital made possible by the honor flight, a trip creating new memories for a father and son to carry back home to Big Sky country and cherish for years to come. Reporting in Washington, D.C., Laura Kennedy, Color 8 News.